Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Bit under 40 hours to go. So I've got combat in a bit. You, tell your dudes to move north. 20 meters. Whoop! Off he goes. Yeah! Combat! Chop, 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 chop. Chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop. Well, it's usually more exciting than that. Hold on. This is the top view here. Let's spice things up a little bit. So if there's a clear path to move into sword range, then they move into sword range. If there's not a clear path to move into sword range, then it's hit with a spear from distance. And yeah, so as more people begin involved in the fracas, things get progressively more chaotic. At the present, they latch onto an enemy and attack that enemy indefinitely. The first enemy they see. Obviously that's not great. Oh man, these guys are beasts. So you'll notice maybe over here you'll see it say wounded. So that means that soldier's wounded. Oh, sorry, I'm very tired. And that plays into the morale stuff. I've called it mood. So I've got a bunch of update mood stuff here. So if it looks at everything within the mood range, and if it's a friendly unit that's wounded, you're like, no, mate, you're wounded. And if it's the commander that's wounded, you're like, oh Jesus, that's a big hit to my duty, and I feel like flighting. I feel like running away. But if it's not your commander, then you're just like, that's a bit shit. But if it's just a friend, you're like, oh yes, I'm highly dutiful and very fighty and not very flighty. And if it's an enemy, it's basically the opposite. If you see a wounded commander, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill that guy. But then it clamps everything to that. At the moment, it doesn't affect the decision making, but the framework is there to make it do so. The tricky bit will be adjusting these values here so as to avoid asymorphy and oscillations in their behaviour, like going in and out and being weird and buggy. You want something to be, you want it to appear semi believable. I don't know if this is at all a good idea because I'm rapidly running out of time. It looks like loads of time, but they're still going to do sound and textures and stuff. So it's going to take a fair bit of doing. But I think this is probably a fundamentally solid foundation once I get those numbers sorted out. And there's a few other things I want to work on. I think that's pretty cool. Where are we? Let's do that again. One thing I can't work out is when the formation spawns and it's rotated, they all do this little shuffle. Attack them while they're distracted, reshuffling. Why are you going over there? Go over here. Interesting. Looks like it's ignoring one dimension of the movement. Anyway. Excitement. I don't think I'll make the combat any more complex than this. At the moment, if you take a wound, it just increases your wound count and adds wounded to your name. I'd say if people got a couple wounds, then they might fall over, but I want to make it such, I want to tune the morale or the mood such that if you get wounded, you're more likely to run away than die. You're not willing to die, I don't think. Okay, bye-bye.